My name's Josh Lotzenizer. I've been with John since the start of the site, and I apologize for looking at notes here, but I want to get this information across to you exactly the way it's written down. But this is a little instructional video for all of you new Tracking Trips members, how to use it, what it's good for, and everything. So let's get down to it. Obviously, you all know John. You know, he's one of the best in the game. I've never met anybody more passionate about the game that, you know, spends so much time studying, handicapping, teaching. He's been so generous to me, teaching me the game, teaching me how to handicap, what to look for, how to read the form, how to read the sheets, and so all of his spot plays and all of his information on Tracking Trips about the track bias and the horses. This information is so crucial to my game. So congratulations to you for signing up for the membership and being a member. But basically, you know, Tracking Trips is a service like no other because it can't be duplicated or copied, because it comes straight from the mind of Jonathan Stetton. It comes straight from him. You know, all of his work ethic putting into the game, studying the game, and we get to benefit from it. So basically, this video is intended to introduce you to Tracking Trips and all it has to offer. As a valued member of this exclusive club, and that is exactly how we do view you and treat all of our members, you will become a more astute handicapper. You'll learn to wager and structure tickets smarter, and develop a strong stable mail filled with live and talented horses. You'll also learn about bad favorites and horses to bet against. You will be privy to spot plays directly from Jonathan, along with suggested multi-race and exotic suggested plays for every budget. You will get real track bias information, clubhouse notes that will take you inside the game to places you have never been before. Today you will learn how to put all this together and get the most out of Tracking Trips. Although many of you love and even some of you join for this feature, Tracking Trips is not, and I repeat, not primarily a pick or selection service. It is much more than that. If you're looking for just a pick service, there are many out there to choose from. Most give several horses in each race, and some are good and some are bad, and none will make you a better, more informed handicapper or wagerer. We offer so much more than that at the cost of a lunch per month. There is simply no better value in the game anywhere. Let's get to you getting the most out of the service. The first thing you should do is read the About Tracking Trips page on the Pass the Wire website. After that, you should read 3 columns on the site. This is important. Read these columns. Did you see that? Against the bias, or and to be or not to be. You can find them with the search option on the site. The new Tracking Trips page will also have links to them. The next thing you should do is set up a stable mail account. It is free and every player should have one. Jonathan uses Brisnet as he likes its features, but you can use Daily Racing Form, Equibase, or any other you like. They are easy to set up at all of the sites mentioned. You should then go into Settings or Preferences and elect to receive email alerts when horses in your stable mail are running. You should set the alert at least 24 hours in advance to give you some notice and time. You should log on to Tracking Trips at least a few times a week, or at the very least once a week, to update your stable mail with Jonathan's Tracking Trips horses and his race rating system. You should also enter his notes. This will alert you to when the horses are running back, why Jonathan added them to the list, and the race rating he assigned the horse. We add horses to the list for several reasons, and the primary reasons are to bet them back, or at least give them a closer look when handicapping, or to bet against them when they do run back. Jonathan's notes will give you that information, and the race rating will tell you how good or bad the race was. You will also find Jonathan will identify horses he thinks are stakes, class, and bear watching. You'll find there is no keener eye in the game when it comes to watching troubled trips, spotting stakes horses early, and recognizing races that look better or worse than they actually were. The race rating system, while sophisticated, is simple and easy to use. If a horse had a bad race or a lot of trouble, then a negative sign or negative number will appear in the race rating. The numbers go from 1 to 10, with 1 being little or minor trouble or a slight minor bias, and as the numbers progress to 10, the trouble or bias is much worse. A -1 is minor trouble or a slight bias. A -10 is major trouble or a very strong bias. It works the same with good races. A good race will have a plus sign after the number. A 1+ is a good race. A 10+ is a great race. These numbers will work with the notes to illustrate how good or bad the race is. Remember, a good percentage of horses on the tracking trips list for getting in trouble, bad rides or trips, or running against the bias win, and they have paid up to 35 to 1. A Clubhouse Notes horse paid 55 to 1 recently, and both the 35 to 1 and 55 to 1 were in stakes races. But none of these horses are automatic plays. Jonathan always handicaps and sees what kind of race they run back in and who they are facing. Many of the horses that Jonathan pegs as horses who look better than they actually were get beat at short odds when they do run back. Again, he and you two should never go in blind and always handicap. As a member of our exclusive service, if you have any questions about a horse running back the first time, or any questions, you can always email Jonathan or put it on the real-time live Twitter feed. Tracking Trips was originally created to complement and be a tool to help with your stableman. It has grown into much more than that. Jonathan also provides track bias information. He only does this when a real and notable track bias exists. Often people think there's a track bias when there really isn't. You'll learn a lot about a true track bias in the recommended articles. There's no better and more lucrative example of what a moneymaker this can be than the Belmont Stakes bias Jonathan was the first to call and write about. So many horses who showed speed and faded that day came back to win. We stopped keeping track after Paola Queen won the test at 55 to 1. If you bet how Jonathan says is the only way to bet, to make it count and show no fear or hesitation, you don't need many of those to justify a lifetime membership. Jonathan also provides spot plays. They are usually one horse and can range in price. If they are short, he will usually suggest using them as a single and a multi-race wager, or maybe suggest an exacta or two. He will also suggest on occasion a pick 4 or a pick 5. Just the other day he suggested a 112 pick 5 wager on Woodbine Mile Day that was alive going into the last race, looking to upset Tepin with full mast. The $1 pick 5 was coming back $16,000. We'll hit our share of those during the year. We couldn't beat Tepin this time, but Jonathan will put you in position for major scores, and it's just a matter of time. Stick with us. Jonathan gave out 3 major wagers at the Saratoga meet. He went 3 for 3. Tourist de Franc, his best bet on the Traverse Day card, and yes, Flintshire was also running that day, and Suffused. When Jonathan Stetton, the Pick 6 King, says major wager, which he will have a few times a year, it pays to pay attention. Remember though, these are all perks of membership. We are not a selection service, and we don't give out plays every day. Jonathan is selective and picky, as any bettor who truly beats the game has to be. Quality over quantity. Patience. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We also offer a live real-time Twitter feed exclusively for our members only. Once a member joins the private members only Twitter feed, even if you don't use Twitter, you can sign up for free. Check it periodically or set your smartphone to alert you to Jonathan's private members only tweets. At some point you'll be glad you did. The feed is used for Jonathan to provide real-time info to members or any changes or updates. He will also tweet out a bad favorite or a horse to bet against sometimes. Nobody treats their members like we do. Membership does have its perks and privileges. Jonathan already tweeted out a first-time starter at Del Mar he heard could run shortly before post time. He knows when to listen and when to ignore. This was a listen situation, and he immediately tweeted out on the private feed this horse can really run. He went from 10 to 1 to 6 to 1 and jogged by open links. Under wraps. Priceless and at the cost of a lunch per month. Membership pays for itself. We are for players at every level, from large handle experienced bettors to novices looking to learn and improve. Even the occasional casual player would benefit from our service, and at the cost, if you are not a member, you must hate money or like losing. Thanks for listening and learning about tracking trips. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email Jonathan at p6k@passthewire.com. Tracking trips at Pass the Wire. Be with us.